I took this girl on like 5 dates already and she's not sleeping with me yet. What is going wrong? My wife, she barely wants to sleep with me at all anymore. And I keep trying to be a good boy by doing the chores around the house, and sometimes it convinces her to sleep with me, but really I'm getting the impression that this behavior is only making her want to sleep with me less for some reason. One of the biggest mistakes that I see guys make when it comes to dating and relationships is that they treat sex like a currency. They think that sex is something that you can earn by spending a certain amount of money or time on the girl. They think, well, if I take her on this many dates, or I buy her this many gifts, and I spend this much money on her and take her on expensive dinners and stuff, then surely she's going to have to take off her pants and sleep with me, because that's the way it works, right? I do this for her and then she gives me sex in return. Now, first of all, this is just fucking creepy, because think about it. She doesn't owe you anything. The fact that you've spent money or time on her doesn't mean that she now owes to give you her intimacy, to sleep with you. It's just really fucking creepy. I hope that most of you guys agree with me if you actually think about it from this perspective. But it's not everything. It gets even worse, because it's a problem for you, for yourself as well, because what you are doing when you are treating sex like a currency is that you are subconsciously sort of putting her on a pedestal where her sexuality is up here and your sexuality is down here. And you are sort of subconsciously telling yourself and her that you are the loser that needs to earn her, right? You need to do things for her, and then you have earned her intimacy, and then she'll sort of get down on your level and sort of give it to you. You are subconsciously teaching her that sleeping with you is something that she would not actually want to do. That girls don't actually sleep with you because they want to sleep with you, but that your sexuality is something that, they have to do because you've done this. You've spent money on her, and so now they have to sleep with you. You're turning the sex into something she wants to do, from something she wants to do into something she has to do. See, that's the whole problem with treating sex like a currency. And so many guys sort of continue this behavior into a relationship. In dating, it already happens, but in relationships, it sort of starts to become even more normal. There are so many guys where their wife or their girlfriend doesn't want to sleep with them that much anymore. And they think that they can fix the problem by doing more things for her, buying more gifts for her, buying her more flowers, taking her on more dinners, or doing chores around the house, right? And sometimes, this is the worst thing that you can do. Sometimes guys start to actually negotiate. They sort of start to actually speak out the fact that they are using sex as a currency. They start to actually negotiate with their partner, and they start to say something like, if I do the dishes or I vacuum clean the house, will you have sex with me then? And sometimes she actually does, right? But that only makes it worse, because it's exactly this problem. Even if she does go along with the behavior, you are sort of conditioning her and yourself that sex with you is something that she does not want to do. That you are like the disgusting beta loser male that she doesn't want to sleep with, but you've done a certain amount of things for her. You've done these chores around the house. And so now she sort of owes it to you. She sort of owes it to give her body to you. Don't do it. Never do it. Never use sex as a currency. Sometimes girls actually go along with this behavior as well, because they've gotten to the point where they know that they can use sex as a currency. And so they start to flip it around and say, hey, if you do this for me, then maybe you'll get lucky tonight. It just messes up your whole sex life. Using sex as a currency is the death of all passion in your sex life. It is the death of the actual lust and attraction that she feels towards you. It is the death of the respect she has for you. Never use sex as a currency. It starts with dating. When you're dating, don't. Assume that the girl's into you. Assume that she actually does want to sleep with you for fun. Because she actually likes you, right? Because she's actually attracted to you. And if she's not, then so be it. That's life. That's dating. That's what you're trying to find out when you're dating. If she's not interested in you, well, too bad. Move on to the next girl that is interested in you. And if you're already stuck in a relationship where this is happening, where you have this dynamic going on, it's tough, okay? But it can probably be fixed, at least to a certain extent, by just stop doing it. Stop chasing her. Stop trying to convince her to have sex with you, and just focus on yourself. Just focus on your own life. Work on your career, work on your body, go to the gym, whatever. This doesn't mean ignore her, but don't chase her and don't try to convince her to have sex with you. Focus more on yourself. And automatically, the more that you focus on yourself, the more that she will actually start to chase you again and actually start to become attracted and sexually interested in you again. That's the way. Never use sex as a currency. This is a mistake that so many guys make. It's practically becoming normal in our modern society. It probably was normal throughout a large part of history, actually, because people always say, oh, these days, but really, if you look back at like the 60s and the 50s, that a lot of people like to look back to, I honestly think that a lot of guys were already simps back then in their own way. But that's not the point. Just don't do it. Don't use sex as a currency.